complete. Crazy killer. I do. You feel that so much? Oh, I feel that soul. That's that soulful track, yo. I'm a soulful brother. Me too, brother. Gotta ride with it for a second. Sometimes productions get ripped. I want you to understand I love the ego trip. And lyrically I flip. I am the microchip. I want you to know that I got on the ship. I snuck aboard. They tried to leave this planet. I told them, but you understand I was stranded. Solid. I am deeper than the sand. Deeper than the man. Wrapped in saran. You know the freaking plan. You study the plan is. You try to poison us. You know I can't stand it. Damn it. I don't even mean to say it. But I want you to know the truth. I will spray it. I see what you do. Your secrets and pieties. Don't you understand? You try to be pious me. You lie to me. You lie to everyone. It doesn't matter. The network, the media is dumb. The TV lies, supplies. The government lies, supplies. Cooking up these FDA pies. Drugs, fentanyl, killing all these people. Don't you understand? They don't think we're equal. They're gonna disappear into the mountains of West Virginia. Or maybe go to Mars. They're the winners. They're the losers. Their soul is dirty. Don't you understand? You know I'm kind of flirty. I see her skirty beat. But it's not time for that. I love these girls, but I'm all about that. The one, the wife, the missus. You see, Alana Christine Taylor, she's riding with me. On the road to recovery, been riding so real. You know and understand that it's more than a deal. I give you the meal. I give you all I got. Every shot I drop, I am hip-hop. The last verse will be when I die. And they have multiplied. My kids are fly. Don't you understand, son? I'm one of the best. From east to west, I rep on my chest. The center of the country, you know it's epic. All right, good time to stop. Ooh, what's going on? I missed y'all. I've been busy, a little hiatus, but I'm back. Episode 33, Knowledge is Love podcast. Did I name this thing right or what? I mean, that's exactly what we need right now. More love in the world. Your boy is building back better, stronger. I'm talking about the full moon, the cold full moon in Gemini. It's not really on the eclipse because the North Node's at 1 degree. This full moon tomorrow night, I think it's 11:35, 11:36 Eastern, right? 8:36 Pacific, 9:36 Mountain, is at 27 degrees in Gemini. We've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to talk about the end of Sagittarius season. You know, my sale ends Sunday night where I got a little birth chart, you know, special. Who's that?
Temptress, the Intentress.
Hey, what's up, Temptress? Birth chart special for my Virgo sun signs, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. Just $135 for a full birth chart with videos and breaking down all your 12 houses. I mean, your boy puts in work. And even though I'm having some computer issues, so that's a whole nother thing, but that's all right. It's all good. And also the cusp of prophecy, because whether it's the 19th to the 23rd or 20th to the 24th, we are entering in the cusp of prophecy, starting really Sunday, Monday, for a couple of days leading up to the Christmas, all right, during the winter solstice, which is the 21st. A lot of powerful energy. We're going to talk about it, but I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you've enjoyed Sagittarius season. This energy is moving. The ascension and powers and abilities of people is moving at a rapid rate. A lot of you could be having headaches, body aches, you know, because there's such an awakening. And a lot of people have been not sleeping, seeing lights in the sky, you know, some UFOs, different things. I mean, this whole Venus-Pluto conjunction, which will happen 3 times, the 11th, and then again on, I think, the 24th or 25th, and then in January,
And then, like I said, we're about to get to the Taurus North Node, January 17th, 18th, 19th, somewhere in there, which will be there for 18 months. Taurus North Node, where Uranus is, and Scorpio South Node. So there's going to be a lot of things going on with values, self-worth, money, power, secrets, truth, especially with the Venus rules Scorpio, right? Venus, Taurus, in terms of what's going on with our financial structures and financial system, right? As Venus retrogrades and conjuncts Pluto again. America has its Pluto return coming up into February, early March. All right. December 29th, Jupiter is going into Pisces. So, like always, I like to do the chart. I'm sorry I'm not on my restream, so I can't screen share here. But the chart ascendant is the Leo rising. So that puts this Gemini full moon in the 11th house of social networks, internet, online, communication. Gemini likes information, ideas, the exchange of ideas, facts. Mercury, truth, right? Mercury is in Capricorn now with Venus. Mercury happens to be at 8 degrees during this full moon. Infinity, that's that 8, that money number. So, I think, who's that?
Got a few people.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How you feeling?
Sam Kanos, 92. Hey, Eric, finally got to catch the live. LOL, you're looking much better.
Thank you.
And then Jody Z said, hi, Eric. And
hey, Jody.
Glad to catch you live.
I'm so glad to be caught live. God bless you guys.
Oh, and Temptress said, glad to see you doing better. Blessings to you and the family.
Thank you. Same to you guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Your boy, we don't discriminate against nobody. I hope everybody had a good, or I don't know when it's coming, Ramadan, But just understand, this is deep energy. But okay, so anyway, we're ending up Sagittarius season. Sagittarius, the surrendering of that solar eclipse and South Node, that energy is still around from December 4th. It plays out for a while, lunar and solar eclipses. It was the, last one of both, but the 4th and 18th. And so, as we say and bid adieu and adios and goodbye to Mr. Sagittarius and Jupiter, really, I guess, what have we let go? What beliefs, what philosophies, what supposed higher learning and knowledge that we thought we knew, are we realizing that it no longer serves us, that we need to let go of? And sometimes it's people. I'm sure, as you guys, and maybe you guys are willing to share, as you can, some people are not going to go on this journey with you, this journey of introspection, self-discovery, spiritual awakening. There's some friends and family that you're going to have to say, I love you from afar and goodbye to, because some people are caught up in the 4th house of America's chart of the Neptune deception and the fog and the television. And, not to get super deep, but remember, Neptune is in Pisces. So the energy is like on super steroids. And it's in the 4th home of our homes for America's chart, which is the Sagittarius rising. That's no accident. Okay. There are no accidents. So you have to know that there are no accidents and understand, with the Neptune being in Pisces until the end of 2025, that you're dealing with, a time period of a lot of imagination, a lot of creativity, a lot of illusion, a lot of delusion, issues with discernment, deception, okay? And really a fog. We're not seeing sometimes ourselves, the world, the media, our friends, family, just a lot of things clearly. you know, but it's also increasing our spiritual connections and psychic ability, right? Along with Uranus and Taurus, it's hashtag New Earth, but I think this Gemini moon being opposing Jupiter, oh, I'm sorry, not, trining Jupiter, it's a beautiful thing, right? Um, there can be a lot of, how could I say it, emotions around your belief systems and philosophies, right? Because Jupiter is at 28 degrees in Aquarius. Saturn's a lot lower, so it's not really trining that. But that trine is an easy flow of energy. So you can have intuitive downloads of seeing truth about expansion, luck, fortune, biology, finance, in terms of what's really happening, right? In terms of from December 19th to the 25th, there are going to be some serious changes with the central bank, with money, with um, restrictions. Because what happens on the 24th? The final dance of the square, the tango between Uranus, liberation, freedom, rebellion, right? Liberation, right? So that against Saturn, government, restrictions, limitations, fears. That's not a game. You guys have seen how these energies play out in globally and then for your own lives. So there comes a point where maybe you're the black sheep of your family. Maybe you're the black sheep in your social network. And that's okay. You can find your tribe here on my channel on YouTube, on groups, my Facebook group, the internet, I mean, you might have a lot of friends that are into kind of just having their chakras aligned and their third eye open, but it's okay that friends and family don't agree with you. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique, weird, and bizarre, you know? Um, so don't ever think that it's not. And this Gemini full moon is kind of like the last of the year in Sagittarius season, reminding us that communication is key. Ideas, the exchange of ideas, right? That Gemini North Node, Lilith still in Gemini, tapping into your what? Gut instincts, root chakra, connection to, it's the female Pluto, but it's the connection to God, God's voice, right? The patriarchal system has taught us not to trust in our own intuition and gut, but that's really the messages we get from God, the downloads from Uranus, the intuition from Black Moon Lilith. God has given you guys everything you need. You just got to remember how dope you are. Because I know how dope you are. Temptress, Jody, Sam, you know what I mean? All of you. Anyone listening, watching, even on a replay. Believe and trust that you're enough and you're special and you're dope enough. And this time, with things lining up with the galactic center and Jupiter, December 29th, going into Pisces, and us really entering in the age of Aquarius. And, it will be full-fledged come 2024. I think it's January, when Pluto goes into Aquarius. But the cage still has to be rattled here in America with the Pluto return at 27 degrees in 2022. Now, remember, Jupiter's in Pisces until May 11th. So the early part of the year, there'll be some benefits and good things. There could be some flooding, could be some crying. Jupiter expands, the water of Pisces. Very spiritual, though, right? Jupiter in Sag is more religious, following the law, dogmatic, sticking to the beliefs that they were taught as children. Jupiter in Pisces is more like the love for the collective, nature, spirituality. big whales, But I mean, it's gonna be an interesting dance. And just remember, all of you have chosen to be born at this time, at this very time that we're all here. We've chosen this, you know. So strap up your boots and get ready. You understand? But you gotta. The way to leave the Saturnian bubble and matrix is from the heart. You have got to not get caught up in arguments, debates, fighting, and let go of the past. The past no longer serves you. Everything is being now in the present and looking forward and planning with discipline and structure, Saturn in Aquarius, to be prepared for the future. The Gemini full moon trining that Jupiter is saying, make sure you are emotionally secure and on point and dealing with the right facts and ideas and messages. Gemini Mercury, the messenger, about your beliefs, philosophy, about your biology is what? The plants, nature. Go out there, hug a tree, get spiritually grounded. Go for walks in the dead of winter, 5 degrees. I don't care how cold it is. Breathe that fresh air. I can't get enough of it. Now, obviously, because what I went through the last couple of months and trapped inside 85 days indoors in hospitals and a coma and all that, you got to go outside and be like, air every day. I love it. But I also realized, now don't be outside when they're spraying chemtrails and stuff. But I also realized how important it is. Okay. Any comments and stuff?
Yeah, a little bit ago, Shannon Allen said hi. Good to see you. Looking good.
Hey, Shannon. What's going on? All right. Thank you for coming on the live. But it's these are powerful times. And it's not time to doubt or question yourself. As I tell my clients and I share with you guys, you're no longer in the business of negative self-talk. Retire from that today. Be intentional about positive talk, self-love to yourself. And this Gemini moon is saying communicate with others. It's in the 11th house. Talk to your older siblings.
Stefan, the Jupiterian said, wow, you're live. Hello.
Hey, what's going on? You guys can share if you want your moon, if you relate to Gemini moons or your rising sign, if you're into the cusp of prophecy, the Sagittarius Capricorn cusp. Okay, my sale continues to December 19th for all Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Sun signs. Only $135 for a birth chart. Full 12-house written report with crazy videos, details, breaking down every aspect of your chart. And, even putting in annual perfections, stuff like that. And just so you know, what an annual perfection is that, so the first year you're born represents the first house. The second year, second house. So what's so wild, right? Let's just say you're 24. So you're back at your ascendant. Let's say your ascendant is Libra. You're living out a Venus Libra year this year. Now, then it activates what planets are in that house. Let's say you have the moon and Jupiter, like we're dealing with this trine here. So then that year, right, that you're in, let's say you turn in 24, the moon and Jupiter are telling the story of your year. Okay.
Oh, wow. Irene's here. And Stefan said moon in Sagittarius.
Moon and Sag. Okay. Yeah, I know about that all too well. My wife has that. And one of my good buddies has it too. So moon, but moon in Gemini, it's really high, Irene. Thank you for your kind words too. But moon in Gemini, you guys, this is, of course, my sidekick, the truth has got that. And, remember, Gemini is yin yang, male, female, but it's in women, literally, Gemini is like 4 personalities, and it can take them up to about 35 to 40 to understand all of them. And for men, there's usually like 2, some guys 3. But, there's a pendulum swing. And, my son, he's only 12, but I can see, how his moon and Gemini, um, the need to express himself. So, for example, he gets extremely frustrated if he gets in trouble. I'll listen to him more. His mother will cut him off, and that makes him crazy. He doesn't verbalize it, but I see it, I hear it, I feel it, right? Because he needs to state his case, right? He's like a little attorney in a courtroom. He needs to state his case, even if you can prove to him that his case is like Haberdasher and BS. He feels that he needs to defend himself, right? But as a parent, you have to teach your children also to be realistic, right? You know how Gemini's like to lie. So you have to talk to them and get them to look to be, and it's hard, right? Remember, air and fire signs. I love you guys, but you're not introspective. So Sag moon, Gemini moon, any of the fire air signs, that's hard to internally, when you emotionally react, to place blame on yourself, because it's not your nature to be introspective. Now you could have a lot of other alignments in the chart that are earth and water, but remember, earth and water are receptive, right? And fire and air are more action oriented. They give the energy. Earth and water receive it. Any other comments?
Okay, so Irene said yes, I'm 38, and a Gemini Sun, yes, the pendulum. I thought that today. And Stefan said I am 51, Sun Pisces in the 3rd house.
Okay.
And Irene said, I thought since Gem, first of 6 signs, was introspective.
No. So remember, when you get to the 6th house, Virgo is like the adult. That's why it's health, work, daily routine, right? It's like when you gotta go to your job, you gotta set the alarm clock, you gotta brush your teeth, get to work on time, right? Think of the Leo 5th house is still like needing the spotlight, right? It's dramatic, creativity, your heart. It's about high school and college. So Gemini is more elementary school, K through 5, right? But Gemini itself, the messenger, Mercury, is the trickster, the entertainer. But it gets the messages from God and it shares it, right? Mercury is brilliant energy. Geminis are the jack of all trades and the Jane of all trades. There's really not a more resourceful sign than a Gemini, because they can tap in to messages and tap into information quicker and faster. Remember, Mercury's 88 days, right? Not 365 like the Earth or around the sun. Mercury's 88 days. So it's a quicker mind, but it's air and fire, they're not introspective. If you notice the difference, right? Virgo's ruled by Mercury too, but it's an earth sign. Virgo, what? Assesses, analyzes, critiques, studies, and wants to fix things. That's why I would say the best personal assistant you could ever have in your life is a Virgo. Because Virgo, there's no emotion. It's just matter of fact. Mercury, like Gemini, facts. But what Virgo does, it's not into the chit chat, and it wants to study and analyze and then tell you how to make something better and to fix things, to fix people. Can be annoying, right? People don't always want to hear from a Virgo like me, like, oh, da 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 da. But I learned after a certain age, probably around when my Mars matured or my Saturn returned between 27 and 30, that I couldn't fix people, right? When I dated different women, I would thought I could fix them. I'm trying to fix them, like how some women like to try to fix and change men. I guess I went through a stage. Hope this doesn't come off bad, but I'm just being honest, where I was dating, I guess what I would call like broken wing chicks, right? And I'm trying to fix them and stuff like that, but it doesn't work. As human beings, we can exchange energy and thoughts and all this stuff, but you're not changing anyone or fixing them or correcting them. You can influence, you can teach. When the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? You can so that's part of the and I think even when you're a parent, you're guiding your children. Yeah, you teach them, but you're guiding them, and they still unlearn and change so much once they leave your home, because they've got to apply it. Even what they learned from you, they've got to apply it to their own lives when they're on their own. That's why it's important to let your children go and let them grow, but prepare them for the jungle, the 10th house, the real world, right? Prepare your children to wash their clothes, do laundry, cook a meal, right? Don't send your child to the world. They don't know how to take out the garbage or make a hamburger or stuff like that. That doesn't help your kids. You cripple them. You want them to be as independent as they can and as strong to stand on their own, to balance a checkbook, to understand finance, right? To understand compassion and empathy, to be respectful to the opposite gender, to their own gender, to themselves. That's your role as a parent. Okay. You know? So
Okay, so Irene said meticulous Virgo, and D Lemaine is here, and he said cheers.
what's going on? So, what do you guys think about the cusp of prophecy? And maybe make sure you try to watch my cusp, some of my cusp series, even if you guys aren't cuspy. But I did two versions. One like a long time ago, my hair was way shorter, and then I did one not too long ago, and I lowered the volume of the music. But the first ones have crazy amount of views, and the second ones are growing. The second one I focus more on love, relationships, and sex. The first one, it was sort of the character traits, famous people, and stuff like that, and some matches. But we're entering in the cusp of prophecy from the 20th to the 24th, or 19th to 23rd, depending on the leap year and this and that. But it's a 5-day orb.
Stefan said, I can be meticulous and overwhelmed. Here's South Node in Virgo. North Node in Pisces conjunct my sun.
Oh, in the third house. So then that ninth house. Yeah, that's deep. I have a North Node in Pisces. And as you age, you will get more and more spiritual. And I'm noticing that, and I'm feeling it. And I'm tapping into the collective more. I've always done that in a sense because I've got Uranus in the 12th house, but that was more visions and dreams. I think now the Pisces North Node, I'm really walking into it. Mine's in a different house though, but with you in the third house, it's about um, the unspoken communication. It's also about pictures and concepts, and you need to play a lot of music. Remember, the third house is your self efforts. It's a relationship with your siblings, your local community, social media, the adult relationship with your mother. So with your sun and the North Node being there, it's telling you your purpose is in your local community to build and connect with neighbors, siblings, and the third house sometimes is more younger siblings. 11th house is older siblings, but it could be siblings and neighborhood friends, childhood friends, and definitely mom. So, that's, being more connected, more creative, spiritual, using your imagination in that realm, maybe even as an elementary school teacher, or creating something for younger people, or, what I mean, making apps, or, whatever it is, but that North Node in Pisces, there's definitely a deep spiritual element. And it is a mutable energy, right? Because the Gemini is mutable air, Pisces mutable water. So yeah, it's real deep. But how?
Irene Mack said, I'm South Node, 6th house. Stephen and Stephen and Sagittarius, Neptune, sitting there. Going 12th house. There's type error.
Okay. So Irene's got the South Node in the 6th house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the South Node, like in the Vedic, it's the dragon's tail, and the North Node is the dragon's head. So the tail is more spiritual, more karmic, but it's like Mars. It can separate and divide. We can't stay in the South Node too long because you have no direction. You already did that in a past life or the first 30 years of your life, depending on your belief system. So then you have to go towards the North Node. I think it's 70-30. Some will tell you 50-50. But you need to move towards that North Node to sort of fulfill your purpose. And like, really, the best way to get out of this bubble is, I feel, the outer planets, the soul psyche, going through the transformation of Pluto, tapping into the downloads of Uranus and riding that angular planet and that wave, tapping into the spirituality of the high vibrations of Neptune, doing the dance with the midheaven, understanding your Juno, and mastering your North Node, and of course the big three: Sun, Moon, and Rising. But and not to say that Jupiter and Venus and Mars aren't important. Jupiter is great for manifesting. Mars is your willpower action. Venus is your, it's very spiritual. People underestimate the spirituality of Venus, but it's definitely about money. It's about material items. It's about nature, right? But people kind of, not poo-poo, but people, and of course Saturn responding to your abilities, being disciplined, right? There is no success without discipline. So discipline and structure is necessary and important. And Saturn is karmic lessons as well. I just think Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, I've been noticing in clients' charts, and even how it plays out in my own chart, and even the transits. You go through a Uranus transit for 7 years, you're a new person, especially if it's on one of your angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, or 10th. It's major change. And you have to be prepared for it and know when it's coming and how to handle it, and know that, it's going to be a ride. And if it's your spouse and it's hitting them, you got to be there as a support. If it's your sister, your brother, your cousin, your child, you know what I mean? It's, because it's going to be stronger in different houses, especially 1, 4, 7, and 10, but it could be big in 5, in terms of, your own business, or if you're going through high school as a student and you have a rough time, high school and college years, But with Uranus, you can expect unexpected. You guys are seeing it with the stock market, with Bitcoin, with food supply. There could be another food shortage coming. There's going to be more restrictions on our health coming. All this stuff, in terms of, everything that's been going on lately. You can already see new sort of health mandates, different things, right? So, just go ahead.
So D. Lemaine said, do you work with decans?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd decan. Yeah. So, for example, right? So this Gemini moon is in the 3rd decan, right? So early Gemini is the 1st decan, 2nd is Libra, 3rd is Aquarius. So then it makes it even deeper in the sense that it's trining the Jupiter because it's in the 3rd decan. Okay. So then there is really more to tap into intuitively, right? So we should all kind of get your crystals, get ready for this full moon, meditate, do your ritual, whatever you do. But understand there's going to be, and you might even feel it or sense it, or just your emotions or psychic abilities that you guys have. You're going to tap into what's going on with the science, the beliefs, the philosophies, the biology.
Yeah, D. Lemaine said, I'm Gemini Sun, 3rd decan.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. So ain't nothing.
All right, we gotta get to you later, people.
Yeah, go ahead. Nobody's getting past
you. Your Highness Alonzo.
Oh, they've been here before. Hey, how you doing?
My North Node is in Pisces. And they also said my North Node is in the 2nd or 3rd house as well in my Pisces.
2nd or 3rd house? Which one?
I don't know if, I'm not sure if it's he or she, or if they know.
Well, tell me what your rising sign is. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, right? This is why I use the whole sign system. Go to astro.com. And it's not to disrespect the Placidus system. It is more modern. It's what is on most of the websites for the default for Western tropical astrology. But the whole sign system is more ancient. And so let's say if you're a Scorpio rising, that means Libra's in your 12th house, second house Sagittarius, and it goes around in perfect order. Now, when you do the Placidus, it could be Scorpio, Sag, Sag, right? It can skip houses and they call it interceptions. But what happens if your third house is normally Capricorn, but it puts the Sag there? And let's say you got a Cap moon and you got Vesta in Cap and Juno in Cap and part of Fortune. So what? All that energy just is dissolved and dissipates? No, that's silliness. It throws off the chart. It throws everything off. And I don't accept or believe, and a lot of my teachers all use the whole sign system, but you can't just dissolve a major planet or a major asteroid from your chart. Okay. So you guys got to start to use the whole sign system and it will change your life. But I always tell people, you do what resonates with you and what's more accurate. I did my own chart with Placidus and with whole sign, and the whole sign rang more true to me because I had interceptions, and it just didn't feel right. I was like, that's not real. That's not it. I'm like, that's not really me. And so then when I learned about the whole sign, and then I did the chart again with the whole sign, I was like, oh, the chupacabra. I was like, yeah, that's your boy. And then I did it with my wife and my kids, and I was like, yeah. And it's the best way to do annual perfections and progressions of the moon and all that stuff, right? You know how the moon switches sign every 2.5 days. Well, every 2.5 years, it switches sign and houses too. So you could look at the progressed moon and see where your moon's at, depending on your age. So the whole sign system, the ancients used it for a reason, and it's very Mercurio, Virgo analytical. It makes sense. Okay, so
Okay, so Irene Max said the Pisces feels so boundless and strange to me personally. And then Stefan said, I have a degree in elementary education. Wow. Temptress, Temptress did like a few black hearts. And then D. Lemaine said, I'm a Gemini Sun. Oh, wait, I already read that.
So that's dope. You're this elementary degree. See, I told. Come on. Your boy knows his stuff. But that's cool, man. Like that's amazing. That's, and think about that with your Pisces North Node. You got to bring that agape Christ-like love and that spirituality to those kids. Because right now, kids are not getting loved on in America, the world, during this whole experiment. It's been terrible. And it's hard for teachers. It's hard for children. It's hard for parents. It's hard for every human because we all are trying to find our footing. And some people can just let go of, circa 2020, what was happening in 2019. And some people are holding on to it like we're going to get back to that. We're never getting back to that. And so, I try to tell people like, yo, you got to let go. The world's moving forward fast, so you better get on that train and hop on a plane, right? Like you heard, if you go back and listen to the beginning of my song, that song right there is called Mean Bars, and that's a remix produced by DJ Crazy Killer with Felicia, this nice R&B gospel singer, on there with me. And it was a freestyle I did in one take. I heard that track and I went bonkers and just went crazy. And I spit that a couple of years ago, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's relevant for ahora, right now, right? They try to poison us, talk about fentanyl, talk about them leaving the planet, going to Mars, right? I said, I am the microchip. I hopped on the ship. You know what I'm saying? They try to leave this planet. Damn, you know what I mean? So it's like, and trust me, they are putting some serious stuff up there that y'all might know about and some of you might not know about. But Pisces North Node, you guys, it's heavy. You know, Tupac had it, Taraji. You know, you can watch my Pisces North Node video. Jay-Z, you know, getting more spiritual with his dreads. You know, I told you I joked before. You know, I'm not a billionaire, so I got to keep mine. I got to redo them. I got new growth, but you know, I can't go all like crazy sloppy Rasta like Jay-Z because I'm not a billionaire. If I get to a billion, you know, I mean, I'll just let it just go wild. You know. Oh god. I kid. I gotta laugh. I got a lot of love and respect for Jay and Beyonce. Um,
Okay. So I'm just gonna read this one first because
yeah.
I mean, Your Highness,
Uranus.
no, Your Highness.
Oh, your Highness. Hey, Ryan. Yeah.
He said, I pay attention to both Plastis and whole sign because I promise both make sense with my placements on both house systems.
Yes.
Like how I have Virgo, Moon, 8th house, and South Node went through that cycle.
Yes. No. And so this is the thing. So like when I do chart readings for my clients, I look at the Placidus and I use the whole sign system, but I go back and forth and integrate the energies. I just know for when I did my own chart, the whole sign made more sense, felt right spiritually and logically. But that's going to be different for every human, right? Because sometimes the Placidus doesn't have interceptions, you know, but just understand, you know, don't dissolve or disappear a major asteroid or a planet or a major fixed star because there's an interception. Okay. They have influence on the chart and are important. So that's all I'm really saying. Um, you know, I don't hate on anything, man. I love Vedic. I don't know it yet. I know principles of Vedic, but you know, to me, knowledge is knowledge, and there's what's so great about astrology. How can I explain this? So the client, right, might not remember aspects of their life. The astrologer might not see or apply things the exact perfect way. The astrology itself is not wrong. You know what I mean? It's never wrong. Like so, it's even like when I'm working with a client, and I always talk about the Chiron, and right now you're dealing with squares with Chiron and Venus and Pluto. And then Aries is going to be like, knocking on the door. So this full moon energy, there's in the end of December, there is a lot of energy dealing with health and wounds based around transformation and money and the whole, you know what I mean? So watch C-SPAN, watch the Wall Street market. Nothing else really matters. Turn off everything else. Now, me, I pay attention to sports and music more because I don't watch the news anymore. I don't ingest fear anymore and stress. It's not good for you. But you know what I'm saying? So, like, but I'm always I still keep an ear to what's like really happening. Not the brainwash happening, but what's really happening. So, try to do that. It'll make you feel better too. But
Stefan said, do you think that, or do you believe that it would help kids to know their birth chart? I would love to teach them about astrology.
Yes. Are you kidding me? Heck yeah. My kids are learning their placements and stuff, and I explain things to them. But yes, can I tell you? So a grandmother, she ordered a birth chart from me. Her children, it was her daughter and son-in-law. They weren't like, they know astrology a little bit, but they just know like, oh, my son's on, like everybody else, right? And I did the chart. The baby was like 2 at the time, so they were still dealing with like a newborn and stuff. Oh my God, she gave it to him as the gift. They, wrote me this whole email. They, through their grandma. They were blown away and so grateful and thankful. I've had friends from college that I've done the chart for their children. So yes, it's important because as a teacher, well, how the schools, they'll want to associate ADHD and this and that and label kids. It's not the case. It's just every human being and every child has the capacity to learn in different ways, right? So when you've got like Neptune in the third house, you're more about pictures and concepts. You've got Mercury in Pisces, you're not, you could be an auditory learner and pictures and concepts. Some people need headphones on. Some people need to be like, depending on how their Uranus and Mercury is placed, right? If they're both exalted, right? They can sometimes have, now they took away the legal term of Asperger's, but like they can be like socially off, but a genius in certain levels, and that happens with like Asperger's and stuff, and certain levels of on the spectrum of autism. And so you can see those things in the chart, especially in houses 1 through 4. Okay. And usually wrapped around Uranus, Neptune, Mercury, um, if certain things are aspecting the sun and stuff, but it's very important. Yeah. Let me tell you something. There's not a human being on earth that shouldn't have their birth chart done. Like if people didn't get married, like if I was God or president, I'd be like, nobody gets married till their Saturn returns. Because see how God works? The cerebral cortex in your brain is still forming for women between 25 and 28, right? I'm talking science here, talking God, right? Between 25 and 28. For men, it's between like 27 and 30, 31. Well, that coincides with your Mars maturing, your Sun maturing, your Saturn returns, right? We could cut the divorce rate by like so much. No one should get married before the Saturn returns. Because I see it with more than 80% of my clients, probably even more. If someone gets married before 28 or to 30, more often than not, it winds up in divorce. Because we're still growing and forming our brains. We're not mature enough yet. You haven't had enough life experience, and you have to really understand who you are. It takes really sometimes between 22 and 32, if you're doing deep work, to unlearn the programming of society, media, television, magazines. Now you got Instagram, friends, like all this stuff, religion, whatever it is, spirituality, whatever it is, you have to unlearn. That's why that's the first floor of my relationship coaching program. It's not just for finding love and a soulmate, it's also for increasing your self-love. Because that's the key. If you don't have self-love, how are you going to get married at 26? You don't know who the F you are. You don't have self-love, and you're just marrying somebody based on eye candy and lust. That's not a marriage. And that's why it fizzles out in 5 to 6 to 7 years. And then if you got a kid, it gets messy. I mean, that's America. There's certain things about in India and with the Amish and then with Hasidic Jews and certain people with matchmaking and this and that or whatever that makes sense. You should also do a synastry chart. You get into a serious relationship with somebody, it's not to say that this person isn't right for you. What it does, and what I do with my clients, I do the chart, right? But then we meet on Zoom afterwards. When you get the chart, you get a write-up of all of your synastry, how your planets are communicating with each other. It's written with videos, and then we meet on Zoom for like 30 to 45 minutes, and you ask me any questions, but I'm teaching you how your moon affects your partner's Mars. They're conjunct each other. How your Uranus is squaring their Venus. You know what I mean? And what that conversation is doing. So you can be stirring up negative emotions in your partner and not even mean to be doing it, but it's just the way that your Mars is. It's assertive, it's aggressive, it's an Aries, it's impulsive, right? Well, they're sensitive with this Cancer moon, and it's squaring that, and it just you hurt their feelings with your words, even though you love them. You understand? So it's so deep. So yes, birth chart for kids, synastry chart for couples. Yeah, muy importante.
Okay, so D. Lemaine said, "Oh my gosh, yes, I have Neptune in the third house, and I always knew an astrological chart would have helped my mother know me better. I know, mother know me better, and I myself, and understand why I experience certain dynamics in relation to others."
I bet. And I bet you were probably not understanding why you would daydream or maybe even see things in the spiritual realm or just were kind of psychic and you kind of like maybe couldn't focus in class sometimes because you were literally in the thin veil between 3D and 5D, the physical realm and the spiritual realm. And right now we're all ascending and going into this rapid ascension when if you're willing and open and ready to do it, to leave the 3D and to get into 5D. And Neptune in the third house, these children are like fairy blood, like they're magic. And so it's hard to be in a regular school system, especially public school system. You're probably better off in a Montessori school, but you are definitely learning is at a different rate and a different style. Do you know what I mean? And so that's a big thing. I have children with that, and it's a hard placement because they like to play pretend and they're in the fantasy world and this and that, and it's like it's challenging. But there's this magic that you don't want to kill inside of them. Do you know children are considered like on a genius level? I used to thought it was between 3 or 6, but I was just talking to a naturopathic doctor, and there's new studies showing that children have, um, the theta, beta, delta mindsets that they're in these different mental states up until like age, I think 8 or 9, which makes sense, right? Biblical, what is the age of understanding? Is 8 years old. So, there's so much stuff that coincides that connects with astrology. Like astrology is the first calendar, right? Sunday, the sun. Monday, lunes, the moon. Tuesday, martes, Mars. Best day to work out is Tuesday because you have that Mars energy. Wednesday, miércoles, Mercury. Thursday, jueves, Jupiter, right? Friday, viernes, Venus. Saturday, sábado, Saturn. First 7 planets, 7 days of the week, right? That's deep, y'all.
All right. And Irene Mack said, "Someone told me an evolutionary astrologer that first 40 years are working through past lives. I don't know if you consider Pluto and reincarnation, but it feels like that."
Okay, so first 40 years, I would not necessarily totally agree with that, but I mean, I'm not gonna like poo-poo what they told you. Um, I think it depends on the individual and karmically where they're at and how they're growing while they're here. But I would say the South Node is an indicator more of the past lives. Pluto is sort of the lessons from a past life that you have to karmically come in. So you look at the generation, right? Most of you guys are going to be probably, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, whatever. And some of you are probably, Virgo, like me, Virgo, Pluto. But it's more important the house and then what's speaking to it, what's conjunctive, what's squaring it, what's trining it, right? But Pluto is the soul psyche. Pluto is saying, how are you going to transform and heal through whatever pain, trauma, and crises you go through as a child that are really karmic lessons, right? And remember what I was saying earlier, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune, and Saturn are really things that help you ascend to get out of the Saturnian matrix bubble. Astrology is the map of your life. Think of it like this. the time you were born, your ascendant, right, is the eastern horizon in the zodiac belt. Only God controls that. You chose that, but only God controls that, right? So,
Oh, moon goddess.
hey, moon goddess, how you doing? But think of it like this, right? There's no map on Earth that isn't that people don't use. We use Google Maps every day, right? You use a map for a destination to get somewhere, right? Capiche, you get that, right? So you use a map. We all use maps. It's information to help you get somewhere. So astrology is the map of your life. It's the most important map you can ever learn, read, and master. And where are you trying to go? You don't want to keep reincarnating here. You want to go and stay in heaven or whatever we would call it, whatever it is. Maybe it's another universe, another dimension, another planet. But you don't have to come back to Earth. Learn the map. The government, every religion, all the powers that be, all the leaders. You know, the hospital, when you were born, they have your social security number. They know your date and time of birth. Think about it. I won't need to say too much more after that, right? It's the truth. In God we trust. What do you see on a dollar bill? Do you see a cross? You see the trine of the pyramid. They started America in a trine. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Come on, y'all. It's all out there for you. All right? You can't make this stuff up. Ronald Reagan used astrology. He used astrology to deal with the Cold War with Mikhail Gorbachev, to do Nancy Reagan's breast cancer surgery. He had astrologers. Every Fortune 500 company, they launch products. They cast a chart for it. I do business birth charts. Trust me, it works. Okay? I got to get ready to go soon, so get in a couple of last questions.
Okay, so G. Lemaine said I channeled info from the spirits, so true. But Shakespeare I loved and understood.
Yes.
Waldorf school would have been ideal for me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Keep channeling, keep meditating, keep tapping in, keep a dream book, tap in to Uranus, tap into to Neptune. These planets don't have power over you. You can have power over them. Not to say that we can stop certain things that are already written to happen, but it's about being prepared. But it's also about, in terms of building up your spiritual man and your inner self, right? Master that Mercury. Manifest through your Jupiter. Understand, your subconscious mind that can give you downloads and intuition for a new idea for a business, for marketing, for teaching, for this, for that, whatever. You know what I mean? Uranus is brilliant, futuristic, innovative, rebellious energy. Technology, IT, apps. You think Steve Jobs didn't tap into that stuff? Old boy was brilliant. Go look at his chart. I mean, it's heavy. And what's so wild, like they're just There are no accidents.
Jennifer Sweet, I'm pretty sure she's new.
Welcome,
I have
Jennifer.
10 trines in my chart, and
What?
I'm half Native American. I sometimes wonder if my chart is unusual.
That's a lot of trines, but understand this. That energy sometimes, be careful, can make you lazy because everything can flow so easily for you. Squares and oppositions kind of push you to grow and change. The more uncomfortable we are, the more we give God the opportunity to assist and bless us. Right? Think about sometimes the child of the billionaire. They live off the parents' money, but they don't make that billion their own. They probably have a lot of trines. And I'm not saying it to be negative towards you, because it's how you use the energy. Someone can have a great, easy chart and do great things with it, and someone could have the great, easy chart and do nothing with it. That's where you tap into the Mars, the Uranus, right? Because Mars is your willpower, your get up and go. Your Mercury is how you think and attack, right? My Mars is in Virgo, so I love to lyrically debate, prove that I'm great, verbally in shape, written like a grape ape, gorilla smacking MCs from here to other planets, smack Saturn in the face, and of course, I can't stand it. You know what I mean? So Mars and Virgo is like, let's debate. I'll battle anybody, any topic, anytime. So that's what I'm saying. So there's power in squares and oppositions because they force you to grow, right? It's like the olive oil. Well, best olive oil comes from the hottest climates, right, in Africa and on the far coast of Italy. All right, so you want Moroccan organic olive oil, because that olive is the tree and the plant. It's got to work so hard so it becomes so strong and it gives the best oil. Makes sense, right? Because it has to survive a tough climate.
Jennifer said, yes, I'm a bit lazy, LOL. And Para DYMZ said, glad to catch this. Pretty sure they're new as well.
Glad you're here. Welcome.
And then Stefan said, yes, Steve Jobs was a Pisces with Virgo moon, brilliant man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I missed this. Irene Mack said, I love this info. I don't want to come back, LOL, studying that map.
Yeah, no, I don't want to come back either. And let me tell you, when I was in a coma, I was in a different dimension. I astral traveled to my house. But where I was no bueno. I did have some good moments. I celebrated my birthday in a coma. Big, huge party, black tie affair. It was dope. The party I've always dreamed of that I've never had. But there was a lot of negative stuff. I was being tormented, playing off of fears and insecurities that I had to battle. And I battled them. And that's how I'm alive today and able to talk to you guys, because your boy went through it. But you know, COVID and valley fever can't take me out. Nah, not the kid. Not Eric Taylor. Not Taylor to you, coach. And I'm here because I have so much more to share with you and so much more to teach and help guide. And I do it from my heart. I love all of y'all, and I wish nothing but the best for you. I tell my kids I want them to be 10 times better than me, taller than daddy, stronger, richer, happier, like all of it. And I wish the same for you guys, because when we all win, when we all vibrate high and shine, then we enter the age of Aquarius. And like I said, everybody gets a slice of pizza. And I used to say Snapple, but now with everything the way it is, a slice of pizza and a kombucha. You know what I mean? Like we all we all get that balance. That's Aquarius energy. That's the age of Aquarius. Now remember, it's half Saturn, half Uranus. So it's cold and detached. It's a bit arrogant. It's got a God complex. But it's about the collective and humanity and everyone having it's almost like a splash of communism with socialistic tendencies, right? So everybody would have proper health care. Everybody would have food. Everybody would have, better, like, I mean, think about it. Like it's criminal in our country, like what the minimum wage is. I remember teaching and not getting a raise for like 4 years or something. It's crazy. And inflation goes up all the time. Look at right now what they've been doing with the inflation going up. Meanwhile, during the whole lockdown and all that, billionaires were getting richer. Jeff Bezos, before he stepped away from Amazon, made more money than he's ever made in a lifetime. Just like with 9/11, who was making all that money? Exxon and Mobil, right? With the oil. Bragging. We made 41 billion this year, 39 billion. Pay attention to the money. Then you find the truth. Always. Right? And when people tell you, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, understand who told them that word, who programmed that term to make people try to say, when you question the authority, that you're not following the lead of the sheep of the majority. That's Julia Roberts and Mel Gibson's movie. Right? You can create a term when you're the powers that be through the media, throw it into the lexicon to dismiss or diffuse any opposition. Doesn't mean opposition is not truthful, honest, and real. It just means the powers that be have a bigger bullhorn to speak from. Correct? So keep that in mind. Don't let nobody play you and try to call you a conspiracy theorist. There's some people who still think JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Scientifically impossible. It's foolishness. I've met some adults that still believe that, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, made me want to smack them in the face, like, wake the hell up. There's no bullet that can just like ricochet, go through one human being, come back around and go back into another's head. I mean, it's impossible. And when you really know, and you look at his chart and Marilyn Monroe's chart and RFK's chart, then you really see it. And even peep JFK Jr.'s chart. But you have to understand, the family history, who his father was, what he was trying to do while he was in office, who he was up against. Right? So, you guys trust your gut and instincts at all times. Have the discernment. Don't be spoon-fed and believe whatever is told to you. Question everything. That's your freedom and your right as a human being, as a spirit, as a sovereign human being. Be free. Be righteous. Be true. All right? Now I got to go get some dinner. The little man should be hungry. Well, he had some cereal early on. No, he's probably not hungry.
I'm still really hungry, though.
You're still really hungry?
Yeah.
All right. A couple more comments before we get out.
Thank you for wonderful sharing.
Thank you, guys. And please go manifest with this Gemini full moon and understand there's a lot going down. I'll come on again before the new year. I'm going to be busy. My oldest son's coming back home. And I will come on before the new year. So just, check out for that. But Jupiter, the 29th, going into Pisces until May 11th. It's going to be great. 19th, 24th, 25th, Uranus, Saturn square, Venus, retrograding and touching Pluto again. You're going to have a lot of intense energy, and a lot of things are going to be affecting sort of rules, regulations, restrictions, science, health, So just, it's already happening. I mean, I know you heard or seen the news, but it's gonna. And then I think January 17th and 19th is going to be that energy where people are going to be like, you're overreaching. We're rebelling against that. No more restrictions, no more regulations. And then February, March, truth shall be revealed. All eyes shall see, not just us that are spiritually seeking and growing. Even the coffin pillow people will see. Revelations is coming.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. I'll see you soon. I'm gonna try to. I gotta get to Apple. My computer's having some issues, so I'm doing work for clients. But I'm gonna try to get back to Venus in the 7th house and Black Moon Lilith and Cancer and finish things up. But I'm just a little bogged down right now with technology. Gotta go talk to the Apple people and the genius and clear up the computer and stuff like that. I tell you. I'm an old guy. I don't know these things. It's too much. It's freaking crazy. I'm Pisces North Node. I'm up in the stars. But hit me up. And I'm gonna announce. I'll be putting up another birth chart sale from the 24th to the 1st. And then obviously I'll get back to birth chart just for the Capricorn sun signs. And Virgo through Sag till December 19th, midnight. So if you know somebody or you want to get a gift, this is the time to do it, And, but yeah, I'm here for you guys. I've got astrological life coaching, starting a new service, 5 weeks on Zoom, 60 minutes each week, right? $375. The first week is the chart reading. Live. We do that live together. The next 4 weeks, I go over 3 houses at a time and do a deeper dive looking at the numerology. We'll bring up some human design. And each week we go through 3 houses where I'm teaching you how to manifest through the map of your life, through your planets. So y'all can rock with this and have the chart come to life and be your ally and your friend. Okay? So you just book things at tailoredtoyoucoaching@gmail.com. You hit me directly. My Cash App is T2 $T2UC. The PayPal is Tailored to You Coaching. The number 2, the letter U, tailoredtoyoucoaching@gmail.com. That's how you pay. And astrological life coaching, 5 weeks. We meet on Zoom. Flexible with the schedule, wherever you rock, East Coast, West Coast, Central, Mountain. And we do the work. We get it in. Okay. It's I'm excited, So all right, you guys, be well, be safe, God bless. Have a wonderful weekend and take advantage of this Gemini full moon. Communicate. And also it's write. Do some writing. Be creative. Mercury is creative. Gemini is creative. Remember, it's self-efforts, but it's your skills with your hands, right? So share your thoughts and ideas, but also write, okay? That's from me to you. Peace.
Bye.